It's time now for your weekly fishing reports and real-time outdoor news. This is the Southwest Outdoors Report.
Hi everyone, and welcome to this week's show. Well, we are all up in the hot dog days of summer across the Southwest region, which is where we'll be for the next couple of months. And when that happens, we anglers have to get pretty creative on how to stay out of the triple-digit heat and stay in the fish. And to that end, we are going to run to the dark on this week's episode. In the next half hour, we hope to give you some tips, tactics on how to locate and catch some crappie at night at several different lakes across our region. And to help us do that, right behind me, you see beautiful Cedar Creek Reservoir. It is located just north of Malakoff, Texas. That's where the dam is, but the lake runs off in several different directions up to the north and the east of there. This lake is loaded with hybrid stripers, blue catfish, largemouth bass, white bass, and yes, even the wily crappie. So, the next half hour, we're going to get out there and show you how to find and catch a few of your very own in these upcoming hot weather weekends. While we're doing that, you get to go around the region for our latest fishing reports from Louisiana, Oklahoma, Texas freshwater, and along the Texas and Louisiana Gulf Coast. So to get things cranked off, we're taking the Nitro Z8 down the boat ramp. Next time you see me, it's going to be pretty dark. And right now, here's Julie with your weekend plan.
A look at the fishing tables predicts fair fishing conditions on both days this weekend. The best activity will occur a few hours after daybreak and an hour or so after nightfall. Expect sunrise to take place at 6:33 and the sun to set at 8:34. And evenings should be fairly well lit with a full moon taking place on Monday. We'll be right back with all of the latest freshwater and coastal fishing information from around our region. Plus, fishing legend Guy Aker joins us for the Whataburger Ask the Pro. First though, here's a look at some more entries from our Costa Catch of the Week contest that didn't win but are still worth sharing.
Before we get out here and get started fishing tonight, I want to show you one thing right quick. Watch this. You know, as much as I'm out here and I do this for a living, I never take outboard engine reliability for granted, and that's where my Mercury Optimax Pro XS outboard engine comes in strong. I've lived long enough to see the day back when I was a kid growing up that we went to the lake and never knew for sure if our outboard was going to start. In fact, many times we spent a couple of hours working on that outboard before we could go fishing, and a couple of times had to go home without even launching the boat. So I can honestly tell you that in 20 plus years of fishing in front of a Mercury outboard, I have never one time either been stranded or had any kind of a major problem out on the water. Mercuries today are the ultimate in reliability, and that really means something when you're out here in the dark like we're going to be tonight. Can't get any help. Depend on Mercury outboard engines like my Optimax Pro XS. Stay tuned. We'll be back to start fishing right after this.
The Southwest Outdoors Report is brought to you by Costa Sunglasses. See what's out there. By Lubes, setting a new standard in fishing performance. Feel the difference. By Strand Fishing Lines, the standard of dependability. And by Strike King Lures, #1 in fishing.
We got something. What is it? It's a white bass. Come up here. All right, well, it's a start. Hey everybody, welcome back. Southwest Outdoors Report out on a very quiet, calm, peaceful night out on Cedar Creek Lake. And that's just a decent sized white bass. I'll tell you, my intent coming out here, as I said at the very beginning, was to show you how to locate and catch crappie. And actually the way you do it is the way we're doing it right now, but that's a white bass. What I did is I just went down to sporting goods store and bought me just a inexpensive crappie light. It's on a styrofoam housing, 12 volts, so it just clips onto my battery back there, and I just let it float over the side right there. Out here in about 15 feet of water, and I found some scattered brush, and that's real key. You don't want to be just in open water. So you may need to go out in the daytime, drive around, locate some underwater brush piles, throw a marker buoy out on those. If you've got a good GPS system, set a waypoint on it. Then you'll be able to come back after it gets dark. You want to get yourself anchored or held directly over that brush, no deeper than about 15 feet. You got to be real patient, and you've got to let the little minnows and the shad come to that light. Sometimes that can take 30 minutes, an hour, however long it takes. But you've got to attract a bunch of bait fish in, and once that bait fish gets there, the game fish won't be far behind, and a lot of times you catch multi-species. There's really no telling what you're going to catch underneath one of these lights. So we may wind up doing a white bass deal before this is all over with. But whatever bites, bites. Let's take you up to Oklahoma, check in with Gary Dollahan, see what's happening this week in Oklahoma.
Hey, some parts of Oklahoma had more rain this past week, and we're always appreciative of that, and it was nice to see it fall in some areas that were needing it badly. As far as fishing across the state, Billy and Stephen McDonald from Owasso joined me for an excursion up at Oologah. Oologah is one of those crappie lakes that in the summertime, those crappie get in the brush can be a lot of fun. You can really catch a lot of fish in a hurry. The day that we picked, we had quite a bit of wind, had some overcast, didn't really allow us to fish the areas that we wanted to fish, but we did manage to find a few fish in the brush piles where we could get to them. It seemed like the magical depth was in that 9 to 14 foot range, and the crappie were kind of hanging in that 9 to 10 foot. Best color was baby shad pearl, but also great colors for Oologah any time of year are the pearl, electric chicken, bluegrass, and monkey milk. I'm getting those same type of brush pile reports from Grand Lake. John Bond gave me a recent note saying that he did extremely well on crappie, catching them 15 to 25 feet in the brush piles. The water there's quite a bit clearer in the area that he's fishing down lake. We fished mid-lake on Oologah. Visibility was probably 12 to 14 inches. Definitely clear at Oologah down toward the dam area. Bass fishing across the state, I'm still hearing some pretty good topwater reports early in the morning. Catfishing, still again, if you got some water moving through the dams, the tail race areas, catfishing can be pretty good in those areas. Oklahoma, summertime bass fishing, crappie fishing, catfishing, one thing about it, you can't catch them if you don't go.
Our Costa Catch of the Week contest has been a big hit this year. We have got photos pouring in from all over the region from thousands of our viewers, and we can never get to all those. Only one a week can actually be the winner. So what we're going to start doing is just showing a few of these that weren't actual winners, but are still good photos from good fans of ours all over our 4-state region. I got one. Whoa, 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 whoa. That's a hard pull right there. Hey, welcome back, everybody. We're out on Cedar Creek Lake demonstrating some night fishing. That's just another big white bass there. Bend down here and grab him by the lip if I can. There we go. Wow, that might be a little hybrid striper right there. Maybe a little small hybrid. Everything gangs up under the lights and anywhere there's bait fish. I want to show you what I did then. I'm going to let that one go back, not keeping fish. What you do not have to do all the time is drop it straight down below the light. What I did then was actually started kind of fan casting out around the outside edges. And a lot of times those bigger fish will hang around the very perimeter of the light circle, and they're just preying on those little bait fish that are wandering out from the light a little bit. Now the other thing you can do, and you can see back here behind me, there are a lot of lighted boat docks. The key to those is finding the ones that are in deep enough water. You need at least 5 feet of water. A lot of the boat docks at this lake right now are about 2 feet deep because the lake is about 4 to 5 feet low because of the drought around here. So the key is driving around, be real careful driving in the dark. Wear your PFD, use your spotlight, just be really cautious, have a good GPS, and find the little bit deeper lighted boat docks. and cast some kind of a little small swim bait, a little grub, a little tube jig, a little bobby garland like I'm throwing right here, and cast it up around those lights, and you can do real well that way as well. So that's two things you can do: fish with a crappie light, fish lighted boat docks. All right, let's check in right now with Cajun Phil and Kevin. He's right next door in Louisiana. See what your fishing reports are for you.
Hey friends, Captain Kevin Broussard here with your Fox Sports Outdoor Report, coming to you from Cajun Paradise Lodge and Charters here on Calcasieu Lake. As you can see, we had a pretty good day. Ended up with about 45 total fish today. We caught all these on live bait. We were using live shrimp and live croaker and pinfish. Tell you what, right now along the whole Louisiana coast, saltwater fish is picking up, friends. Just get out there, go in the water. There's lots of bird action for some smaller schooler trout. You can drift some reefs. Tell you what, these bigger fish came out of a little deeper water in some moving current. We're fishing 10 to 20 feet with a light split wave on this live bait. Getting late summer or getting early summertime, but it's getting hot. Those fish are going deep. I tell you what, you take this and bring it out there on the water and use it next time, you're gonna have a great trip. If y'all wanna make a trip down here, our number's on the screen. Feel free to call and we can take care of you. Right now we're gonna turn it over to Cajun Phil, see what's happening on the bass scene.
Thanks, Captain Kevin. We talked to anglers fishing Black Lake. They said the grass is so thick on Black Lake right now. Early in the morning, you can throw out there and throw buzz baits right next to the grass, maybe a little topwater bait, a chug bug or something, and you'll catch a pretty good bass along the edge of the grass. Once it gets heated up and the sun starts coming out, they're using a big old football jig with a bass assassin lizard, dropping it through the grass, and they catch us a pretty nice bass. So I'll tell you what, friends, right now, saltwater, freshwater, it's all good. Just watch the heat. Till next time, it's Cajun Phil for Captain Kevin. Then happy fishing, and may God bless it. We're going to see you folks next week.
The Southwest Outdoors Report is brought to you by Exide AGM Marine Batteries. Starts like new, stays like new longer. By Jean LaRue and Bobby Garland Lures. With our baits, a good day of fishing is in the bag. By Motor Guide Trolling Motors, engineered for anglers. By Whataburger, just like you like it. And by Nitro Performance Bass Boats, pure performance.
Whoa, slow down. Hey, welcome back everybody. Southwest Outdoors Report on Cedar Creek Lake tonight actually. And I pulled up on a dock here that's got some big lights hanging off of it. Made a couple of casts up there and I hooked something, another big white bass. Well, this has turned out to be a white bass show, and I feel like apologizing to you folks because I told you this was going to be a crappie deal and I was going to teach you how to catch crappie at night around our region, and it's turned into a white bass deal. However, I'm having a little bit of a hard time apologizing for catching fish, but we'll let that one go back. I usually throw a black bait at night, but the fish kind of quit biting tonight. It's been a really, really difficult night. We've been out here almost all night. I've only got about an hour left to go before daylight, and we have hit this thing since right about dark. So it's been a really tough night, and all I've managed to catch is several white bass, pretty good sized hybrid striper. Had to go to a light colored bait, throw it up around lighted boat docks, and that's how I've caught some fish later on in the night. Early in the night, I caught some underneath my crappie light, not crappie, but white bass. But anyway, it's been a really tough night. You know what? That's fishing. I'm sure you've experienced that as well. But I'll tell you, it's been a good night anyway. Caught some fish. Stay with us. We're going to come back a little bit later and show you some baits and give you some gear. But right now, we're going to take you to the rest of Texas and tell you what the fishing reports are for this week. Here is Brian Hughes.
Hi everybody, and welcome to this week's Lone Star Lakes, brought to you by Camo-Ramic, which is camo for your truck, not your clothes. Now this week we're going to visit Lake Belton, one of our state's better smallmouth lakes. Now you want to watch lake levels on these lakes that I talk about each week and check in before you make a special trip, because some of them are dropping and ramps may or may not be accessible. But if you get on Belton, you'll want to fish the rocky drops and ledges. Depending on whether you're fishing for largemouth or smallmouth, we'll tell you what baits you want to use. Largemouth, use your regular rubber-skirted jig and pigs. Smallmouth, go with a much smaller hair jig, and I like a natural port trailer. Also on the smallies, I'll use something like a shad body on a jig head, whereas on a largemouth, I'd go ahead and throw a spinnerbait. And finally, at night, buzz baits and black spinnerbaits, again, off those same rocks and ledges, 5 to 12 feet deep all night long will catch you fish on Lake Belton. That's this week's Lone Star Lakes, brought to you by Camo-Ramic. Camo for your truck, not your clothes. Let's check in with Mr. Bill Olson. He's on the coast.
Hi folks, this week's report is brought to you by Port Aransas on Mustang Island, the fishing capital of Texas, where anglers enjoy pristine bays, estuaries, 18 miles of surf, and the deep blue waters of the Gulf of Mexico. Plus, the local restaurants will even cook your catch come sundown. Come fish and play Texas Island style. For more information, visit portaransas.org. Well, just about every report from a successful fishing trip has said the angler was fishing deep, around reefs, well pads, or deep grass, and in water at least 5 to 6 feet deep. The other options most often mentioned are the surf, where trout are working guts, or around the jetties, another deep water pattern. Live bait anglers are doing well with croaker or shrimp. Freelining either bait will get you hooked up on fish that sulk due to the excessive heat. Early and late on Sabine Lake, there has been some bird activity, and a little bird action is also shown in Galveston, Trinity, and Chocolate Bays. When it comes to available deep water, the Intercoastal Waterway is an excellent choice and runs all on the Texas coast, with many secondary channels adding to the mix. Fishing Carolina rig bait, soft plastics, or heavier 3/8 ounce jig heads are best ways to rig. Early and late, redfish are up on the flats to feed. Topwater lures or soft plastics rigged on light jig heads has been successful. Now, anglers wade fishing will need to concentrate on deeper depths. Good areas will have you in water waist deep and casting to even deeper water. Feel the bottom for subtle guts or troughs that may hold fish. Offshore, the Gulf shrimp season reopened this past Monday. Anglers will target these anchored boats to catch ling, kingfish, or blackfin tuna. Even some sailfish may be holding underneath along the middle and lower portion of the coast. This weekend, both Saturday and Sunday have a double tide schedule of 2 high and 2 low tides each day. I'm Bill Olson, and I'll see you on the coast.
The Southwest Outdoors Report is brought to you by Mercury, the official outboard of the Southwest Outdoors Report for 11 years running. By Academy, right stuff, low price, every day. And by Tracker Boats, fish the finest.
Welcome back, everyone. It's time now for our Whataburger Ask the Pro question. This week, David in Texas would like to know, when using Texas-rigged plastics, is it better to use a pegged weight head or a moving weight head? For some insight, we asked fishing legend Guy Aker.
I peg my weight when I'm fishing and flip any kind of structure, because you don't want your weight to fall down one side and your worm on the other. A lot of times when I'm fishing out on drops or fishing ponds or pea gravel, I like to jerk that bait, and it actually makes the worm or lizard or whatever you're using look like it's after that weight. Because when you move it, that weight will jump, and then the lizard or worm will sort of jump to it. But I peg it mostly, say 60 to 70% of the time, because I'm always fishing around structure, grass, dock, logs and stuff, and I don't want the weight falling on one side, away from the worm. I want it to look just like it is part of the worm or lizard.
Thanks, Guy. If you need help from one of the pros, go to southwestoutdoorsreport.com, follow the Ask the Pro link, and submit your information. Now let's see who wins a new pair of Costa sunglasses on the Costa Catch of the Week.
Back on the boat ramp after a difficult night's fishing, and it's time right now for our Costa Catch of the Week winner. We've been getting a lot of emails lately, folks asking about Lake Allen Henry, way out near Lubbock in West Texas. How's the fishing there? Well, how's this for your answer? Here is Jason Job of Midland, Texas, showing off a 9-pound, 2-ounce largemouth bass he caught at Lake Allen Henry. If you'd like to enter our contest, just go to our website at southwestoutdoorsreport.com. On the right-hand side of the front page is the box you click in, follow the instructions, and send us your big fish picture. You could win your own pair of Costa sunglasses like Jason does on this week's episode. And to see all of the Costa frame and lens styles, go back to the front page, click on the Costa logo. It'll take you directly to their website where you can see all of the frame and lens styles, including the frame style this month, Galveston. Next up on the Academy Sports and Outdoors Right Stuff feature, let's talk about the gear you'll need if you're going night fishing. Beginning with bug spray. Do not forget your bug spray. Secondly, I just went out and bought a very inexpensive crappie light at an Academy store, and it did the job just fine. It floats right beside the boat, attaches to your 12-volt battery, and does a great job of attracting all of those bait fish right up underneath your boat. Next up, your fishing line is key. You can get away with using braided line at night, so do. I like to use Stren Sonic braid in about 20 or 30 pound test. That does the job just fine. For a bait tonight, my best bait to catch these white bass on, and we also caught several largemouth bass, was a Bobby Garland Mo-Glo jig head. And on the back of that, I had a Bobby Garland Slab Doctor. I like it for the big bulky body at night. I like a big profile. Also has two big kicking legs that did a great job. Next up on Stuff That Matters, I've been a gun owner all of my life. In fact, I used to hunt quite a bit until a pinched nerve in my neck put an end to all that. However, I'm still a gun owner. I do keep a pistol around for personal protection. In light of recent events, I have been rethinking my whole gun ownership situation. The nagging question that keeps bothering me is, if one of those tragic events had happened around me, would I have been well enough prepared to have done anything about it? Well, I'm not sure I would have been. So what I've decided to do after much thought is I'm going back, taking my concealed handgun course, going to get my concealed handgun license, and I am going to start carrying. That way, if anything, heaven forbid, does happen, I'll be much more prepared to protect not only myself and my family, but anyone else who happens to be around me. Hey, thanks for joining us on this week's episode. It didn't turn out exactly like we planned. We were going to go crappie fishing. It didn't work out. I could not find those crappie. We'll have to save that for another episode. But we did pass along some tips and pointers that will help you go and catch crappie or white bass. You employ those techniques, and I think you'll be successful right through the hot summertime months. It was about 90 degrees when we launched the boat. It's about 76 degrees right now. Much more tolerable out here at night than it is in those triple-digit daytime temperatures. Hey, don't forget to join us next week. We'll be on Thursday night at 10:30, Saturday morning at 8 o'clock. And if those times ever change, you'll see it on the front page of our website at southwestoutdoorsreport.com. We keep that constantly up to date. Also on the front page of our website, you can watch the latest episode of our show 24/7 in full HD. Click on the YouTube logo, watch all the past archived episodes of our show. Click on the Facebook logo to get lots of video, photos, and news that we don't have time for here on the television show. At night from Cedar Creek Reservoir north of Malakoff, Texas. Until next week, I'm Barry Stokes. Be safe, have fun. Bye-bye, y'all.